Well, with me now is the Northern Ireland Secretary Chris Heaton-Harris to speak for the Conservatives. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You a betting man?
Not really.
What do you think about people who are?
I don't mind people who have a bet on things they have no knowledge about, which is what most gamblers do. And I know what you're referring, and the Gambling Commission are actually looking into this, as they stated over the weekend, that there's an ongoing investigation, that they weren't going to comment on it, and they didn't want to confirm or deny any names. So that's where I am too on this.
Some of the people you're referring to, four Conservatives and a close protection officer, have actually said they placed a bet on the election date. So assuming they had some sort of knowledge of that, why not suspend them in the meantime while the investigation's going on?
Firstly, I mean, I don't know if they did have any knowledge at the time they made the bet.
Yeah, I know you don't, but one of the candidates said, I did it, the Gambling Commission will investigate.
Yeah, and this is for the Gambling Commission to investigate. When the Gambling Commission report back, as the Prime Minister said, if people are found guilty of doing something that is incorrect, then they'll be kicked out of the party.
Yeah, but why not suspend them in the meantime? And then because that's actually happened. A couple of your officials, not candidates, but officials, have taken a leave of absence, and the police officer accused of doing this has been suspended. So why is it a different rule for Conservative Party electoral candidates?
When there was a police investigation going on into Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner for different things over the course of the last 2 years, they maintained their role. Is that the same? It's very, very similar.
They didn't admit doing anything wrong, and they were proved correct.
Yeah, and that's what an investigation is about, isn't it? That's what the Gambling Commission will determine.
Yes, but the difference here is one of the candidates have said, I placed the bet, haven't they? Your candidate, well, I'm not going to say where the constituency is, but in Wales.
Yeah. Well, and the Gambling Commission...
suspend him in the meantime.
The Gambling Commission are looking into that, and we will act on what the Gambling Commission say.
Here we are, the week before a general election. Did you think we'd be talking about yet another muck-up by the Tories?
I'm very much looking forward to talking to you about how our economic plan is much more positive about the future, how we're going to have lower taxes and how Labour will increase people's taxes. But interestingly enough, when you go out onto the doorstep, and I've been doing that an awful lot, that is what people are talking about. They are worried about what an incoming Labour government might do.
Yes, because you are saying they will tax everything under the sun when they are being quite clear themselves about saying they're not going to change income tax, they're not going to change VAT, and they're not going to change national insurance.
Well, that's not quite true either, because they're already talking about, and they've been talking about for quite some time, VAT on independent schools education.
That's different. They're not going to raise the rate of VAT.
That's still changing VAT.
Do you think that's unfair, then, to put VAT on private schools, which are effectively private businesses?
I think that's unwise, certainly.
Do you think it's unfair?
I think people who've saved hard, worked hard, and want to spend extra money on their children's education should be allowed to.
So you think it's unfair to put VAT on businesses?
I actually think it's a very bad policy, because it also means lots of children would be entering, lots of people who wouldn't be able to afford those fees going forward. Those kids will be entering a state education system which is doing really well, but is not ready to cater for thousands of extra pupils coming in at this time.
Because the cabinet that you've been a part of is not representative of the number of people who came through state schools, is it? That's 93% of the population. Whereas your cabinet has been far overrepresented by fee-paying school kids.
So, firstly, you're talking to a grammar school kid who was a state grammar school kid. Secondly, I don't buy this kind of mini politics of envy type stuff. That
it's not politics of envy,
no, I think
it's politics of fairness.
No. We want the best people represent. The House of Commons is wonderful.
So the best people have to go to fee-paying school, is that what you're saying?
The House of Commons is wonderful because people come from every single background that there possibly could be. I used to wholesale fruit and veg in New Covent Garden Market, became a Member of Parliament, and then was lucky enough to become a minister too. And we want the best people to be able to come forward. And if the best people just happen to come from a different type of education system, then so be it.
Doesn't that give them an unfair advantage?
I've not seen that in my time in politics, no.
OK. Tell us what else you're doing today in terms of rolling out more of your manifesto for different parts.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Chipping Barnet to talk about how we are going to be much fairer to the good old motorist in London compared with Labour, and talk about Labour's ULEZ charges, talk about how Labour knife crime has got out of control in Labour-controlled London, talk about how we're getting more police on people's streets, and to be quite talk to real people on doorsteps about real issues in life that do concern them, because that's where all politicians of all parties pick up the best intel.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, isn't it? Why does it take until an election campaign to speak to what you call real people?
Yes, but it doesn't.
I mean, real people.
Well, anybody and everybody that opens their front door. Yeah, exactly.
Is a real person.
Everyone's a real person. And maybe not politicians and journalists quite so much, because we do live in a bit of a bubble.
I feel like a real person outside of here, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's the thing, outside of here. But it is generally good. Most politicians I know, doesn't matter what their political colour, do knock on doors throughout the year, and it's amazing what reactions you get from people when your MP or an MP turns up on someone's doorstep.
Chris, what we're getting from you, though, is, I mean, you must be feeling demob happy because you are not running for a seat yourself. In less than 2 weeks' time, you'll be a new man. You'll be a real person again yourself. But the Conservatives put you up. We see Michael Gove speaking over the weekend, and you're not even going to be part of the next government if Conservatives win as you would want to. Yeah,
but you've also seen the Prime Minister. In fact, the Prime Minister is doing yet another debate tonight. Had James Cleverly, I believe, over the weekend. I believe, I know that Grant Shapps enjoys and is a regular attender of conversations with you. We're in the cabinet, and it's our duty to do this, as well as something we enjoy doing.
But anybody who works alongside someone who's serving their notice knows they can't help but think about the next thing. And you have said in your letter of resignation you want a new challenge.
Yeah.
So are you fully committed right now?
I am, because I'm absolutely sure I want that new challenge to be under a Conservative government in a country, because I believe that's the best thing for my country. For lower taxes, for a better education system, not a politically correct one, for low immigration, a whole host of reasons.
And just to finish off, maybe with a view on the Conservatives not necessarily winning, because the polls suggest that, maybe some of your colleagues just wanted a few quid in their pocket.
Yeah, well, if the Gambling Commission find that, then that lowers them, in my estimation, unbelievable quantity.
Chris Heaton-Harris, thank you so much.
Thanks.